Hello, everyone. Welcome back to India Business Insights. Rejoining the narrative of India's remarkable journey in pharmaceuticals today, in this second part of our series on pharmaceutical industry, we look at the process of drug discovery, various therapeutic segments, FDA regulations in imports of generics in the US, which is of course our largest market, and the recent PLI schemes for the development of the industry. Drug discovery and development. Have you ever wondered about the fascinating journey a medication takes from its inception to your pharmacy shelf? It starts with identifying a target, such as a protein or a gene involved in the disease whose functions are critical to the survival or spread of the disease causing organism. Once the target of the disease is found, biopharmaceutical companies start investigating how to act on them to stop the diseases getting worse. Thousands of compounds are screened to check if they inhibit or stimulate the target. The most promising compounds are subjected to various screenings and assays. These experiments assess its efficacy, safety, and interactions with biological targets. Only a small fraction of drug candidates make it to preclinical test, where they undergo extensive testing in laboratory and animal models to evaluate their safety and efficacy. The preclinical development phase involves several key steps, including lead optimization, pharmacology, and toxicology testing. Preclinical development aims to identify the most promising drug candidates for further human testing. Before proceeding to clinical trials, companies files an investigational new drug or IND application for its permission with FDA. The IND application provides detailed information about the drug's chemical composition, manufacturing process, preclinical data, and proposed clinical trial design. If approved, the candidate drug starts to go through the three-phase clinical trial. Because of the emphasis on safety and efficacy, many drugs will not make all the way through this process. Phase 1 trial is first in humans and usually small, focusing on medicine safety, dosage, and how the drug moves through the body. Phase 2 trials involves testing the drug in a larger group of patients with the disease to evaluate its efficacy and side effects. Phase 3 trials are much larger and focus primarily on making sure the medicines are safe, effective, and optimal dosage for a wide variety of people. After successful clinical trials, a process that usually takes 6 to 7 years, the biopharmaceutical company files a new drug application or NDA with regulatory authorities in India and often parallelly with the US FDA. The NDA provides detailed information about the drug's safety and efficacy, clinical trial data, manufacturing process, and proposed labeling and prescribing information. Once the FDA validates and approves, the drug can be manufactured, marketed, and sold to patients. However, regulatory approval is subject to ongoing monitoring and post marketing surveillance to ensure the safety and efficacy of the drug. Looking at the commercialization process, once regulatory approval is obtained, the drug manufacturer must obtain a license to manufacture and distribute the drug. The manufacturer must also develop a manufacturing process that meets strict quality control standards to ensure that each dose is consistent and safe for patients. The drug manufacturer must develop a marketing strategy to promote the drug and make it available to healthcare providers and patients. This can involve advertising campaigns, sales representatives, and partnerships with healthcare organizations. The marketing strategy should also consider the target patient population, pricing, and distribution channels. Once the manufacturing process is in place and the marketing strategy is developed, the drug can be launched. This involves making the drug available through pharmacies, hospitals, and other healthcare providers. In order to protect these significant efforts and investments, pharmaceutical companies rely heavily on the exclusivity granted by intellectual property rights and, in particular, patents. Patents provide a 20-year monopoly right during which a pharmaceutical company enjoys market exclusivity and can change a monopoly price for its products. Once such patent protection expires, however, other companies may develop generics of a branded drug and start competing with the originator for the market. This is called generic competition. Normally, companies do not wait until the last stage of R&D process and often file patents during phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trials. This early filing allows them to secure intellectual property rights for their innovative products. New drug discovery is an expensive game, and India has so far had only a limited role in this area. There are, however, multiple companies emerging in India which have begun to specialize in one or more of these stages. They have started taking up R&D activities jointly with large MNCs. Therapeutic segments. Major segments of Indian pharmaceutical industry include generic drugs, over-the-counter or OTC medicines, bulk drugs, vaccines, contract research and manufacturing, biosimilars, and biologics. During the past 5 years, from 2017 to 2018 to 2021 and 2022, the highest growth has been seen in the urology therapeutic segment at 9.78%, through the sales data in absolute terms was not very high. However, cardiac and respiratory therapeutic categories of drugs have high sales and also had a compound annual growth rate or CAGR between 8.29% to 8.50%. This was followed by CAGR between 7.44% to 7.47% in the anti-diabetic, hormones and vitamins/minerals categories. The domestic pharma industry has been estimated at rupees 1.93 trillion in fiscal year of 2023. The total size of the industry is estimated at US dollars 50 billion. So the contribution of the export markets may be somewhat higher than the domestic market. US FDA. Now, you must have come across the terms US FDA multiple times in this video, as well as in our past videos discussing the pharmaceutical companies. Let's gain an understanding of the US FDA and its role in the industry. For many Indian companies, the US remains the largest market. To sell in the US, every pharma manufacturer needs to go through a rigorous system of approval for the manufacturing facilities, processes, as well as the products. The United States Food and Drug Administration, or US FDA, is a federal agency of the Department of Health and Human Services. The FDA is responsible for protecting and promoting public health through the control and supervision of food safety, tobacco products, caffeine products, dietary supplements, prescription and over the counter pharmaceutical drugs or medications, vaccines, biopharmaceuticals, blood transfusions, medical devices, electromagnetic radiation emitting devices, that is ERED, cosmetics, animal foods, and feed and veterinary products. The US FDA sets a high bar, ensuring that pharmaceutical products maintain stringent safety, efficacy, and quality standards. For an Indian company, a nod from the US FDA means its products match the rigorous demands of one of the world's largest healthcare markets. Being part of the US FDA approved pharma companies in India isn't just a badge of quality, it opens doors to the vast US pharmaceutical market. Companies with such approval inevitably witness heightened investor confidence, stock market gains, and enhanced global partnerships. When the US FDA inspects factories of Indian pharma companies, they can have two outcomes, which can be favorable, that is NAI, no action indicated, and VAI, voluntary action indicated, or unfavorable outcome, that is OAI, official action indicated, which is later followed by warning letter. No action indicated is the best classification a plant can get from the US FDA. This category means it is a green signal for the plant to function as is, and the US FDA is satisfied with the state of the plant post the inspection. VAI, or voluntary action indicated, is generally issued when a plant receives observations and responds to them, and the regulator believes the response by the company is satisfactory. It is then up to the regulator whether they would like to re-inspect the facility to assess the remediation. Then comes OAI, that is official action indicated, means that the regulator issued observations to the plant and was not satisfied with the response by the company to the observations or thought they were inadequate. The regulator can then decide what further action can be taken on the plant, which could be a quicker reinspection, slower approvals as severe as a warning letter, or even an import alert. According to a recent report in the first half of 2023, about 93% favorable outcomes have emerged on a base of 94 visits. That said, the compliance rate in India has room for improvement since US FDA inspections in the US in the last 5 years average resulted in favorable outcome ratio of 96%. As per the latest industry data of the US FDA, market authorizations granted to Indian formulations companies with US FDA approvals stood at 6,316, which is the highest in comparison to any other country as of April 2023. India's dominant share in the overall ANDA approvals and first-time ANDA approvals by the US FDA is a good reflection of the country's strength in the global market. However, India has been under increasing scrutiny since last year following a series of deaths in Gambia and Uzbekistan in October 2022 that local authorities and the WHO linked to medicines manufactured in India. At least seven medicines, including syrups, paracetamol, and vitamins, were suspected to be linked to the deaths of 300 people worldwide. India had to close down 18 pharmaceutical companies following accusations of poor quality medicine hours after the World Health Organization said tainted cough syrups were being sold worldwide, including some manufactured in India. PLI schemes. We have seen earlier that India is not considered a strong innovator, with very few new molecules developed by Indian companies. There are also gaps in various intermediates and bulk drugs and APIs. To aid the industry and to ease and encourage domestic manufacturing, various production linked incentive of PLI schemes and other incentives have been brought by the government. Against the backdrop of industrial slowdown during the pandemic era, the Government of India announced the Production Linked Incentive initiative to revive the sector and to push India towards a self reliant economy with vibrant manufacturing capabilities. It involves three PLI schemes being implemented by the GOI, that is, Government of India. PLI scheme for promotion of domestic manufacturing of critical key starting materials, that is KSMs, drug intermediates, active pharmaceutical ingredients, APIs in India. It was approved by the Government of India on 20th of March 2020 to promote self-reliance and reduce import dependence in critical APIs. The scheme intends to boost domestic manufacturing of identified KSMs, drug intermediates and APIs by attracting large investments in the sector and thereby reduce India's import dependence in critical APIs. The scheme covers 41 products under four different categories with a total financial outlay of Rs 6,940 crores. Out of 249, 51 applications have been approved with a total committed investment of Rs 4,138.41 crore and expected employment generation of around 10,598 persons. PLI scheme for promoting domestic manufacturing of medical devices. The domestic medical devices industry faces several challenges, including lack of adequate infrastructure, constraints in domestic supply chain and logistics, high cost of finance, inadequate availability of quality power, limited design capabilities, and low investments on R&D and skill development. With a view to address some of these challenges, this PLI scheme was approved on 20th March 2020. It intends to boost domestic manufacturing and attract large investments in the medical devices sector with a total financial outlay of Rs 3,420 crores. Out of 42, 21 applications have been approved with a total committed investment of Rs 1,058.97 crore and expected employment generation of around 6,411 persons. PLI scheme for pharmaceuticals. The scheme was approved on 24th of Feb 2021 with the objective of enhancing India's manufacturing capabilities by increasing investment and production in the sector and contributing to product diversification to high value goods in the pharmaceutical sector with the total financial outlay of the scheme is rupees 15,000 crores. The scheme covers pharmaceutical goods under the following three categories. Category 1: Biopharmaceuticals, complex generic drugs, patented drugs or drugs nearing patent expiry, cell based or gene therapy drugs, orphan drugs, special empty capsules like HPMC, polluants, enteric, etc., complex excipients, phytopharmaceuticals, other drugs as approved. Category 2: Active pharmaceutical ingredients, key starting materials, drug intermediates, except for the 41 eligible products already covered under the PLI scheme for promotion of domestic manufacturing of critical KSMs, DAIs, and APIs. Category 3: It basically contains drugs not covered under Category 1 and Category 2, like repurposed drugs, autoimmune drugs, anti cancer drugs, anti diabetic drugs, anti infective drugs, cardiovascular drugs, psychotropic drugs, and antiretroviral drugs, in vitro diagnostic devices, other drugs as approved, other drugs not manufactured in India. During fiscal year of 2018 to fiscal year of 2023, the Indian pharmaceutical industry logged a compound annual growth rate or CAGR of 6 to 8% and is expected to grow at 7 to 8%. In fiscal year of 24 and 25, supported by 6% to 7% growth in exports and 8% to 9% growth in the domestic market during the same period. Going forward, better growth in domestic sales would also depend on the ability of companies to align their product portfolio towards chronic therapies for diseases such as cardiovascular, anti-diabetes, antidepressants, and anti-cancers, which are on the rise. With the stabilization of raw material prices, freight rates, and easing of pricing pressure in US generics market, along with a focus on complex and specialty products, it is expected that the operating margins of industry players will improve by 100 to 150 bps over the fiscal year of 2024 and 25 compared to fiscal year of 23. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for our next update.